Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4, one of the greatest gifts you can give, the joy of reading. This has been one of the things that I am most thankful for to mostly my mom and two of my uncles for encouraging the love and joy and seeing the beauty of good, wholesome literature. And I really believe that it has helped me to learn a lot about the world. It's fostered my love of history, of politics, and just an appreciation for other people's genius when it comes to writing. And I think it's rather lost in today's world in many cases, especially for the younger generations. For me, I've had health issues for many years, and one of the greatest blessings for me has been to be able to escape sometimes from the problems of this world and immerse myself, see myself in another world that uh, can bring me joy and excitement and just show me a different aspect of life, kind of live vicariously through the characters. So I believe that it's something that's really missing in today's society, and the TV and YouTube and social media has kind of taken its place, and I don't think it's a healthy thing. So today we're going to talk a little bit about reading. So when I was younger, some of I started out with books that many of you have, I'm sure, also been exposed to: Dr. Seuss, the Berenstain Bears. Um, Trying to think of some of the other kids' books. None come to mind at the moment, but Dr. Seuss was one of them, and now they're trying to cancel him. And I don't think that's right. I haven't read why they want to. I just heard the usual baloney coming from the usual actors, and I encourage you to go out and buy those books now in case they don't come back or they get pulled from the shelves. I will leave a link to an eBay store that has some that you can go browse and maybe buy from them. Stay away from Amazon if you can, because they are a major part of the cancel culture. But even better than eBay would be going to your local bookstore and buying any of these books from them and supporting that small business. So as I got older, lots of other books were given to me or found in libraries. Old Mother West Wind, those stories were fun and simple. Um, Again, those might be on the chopping block because I believe there was some maybe stereotyping accents or whatever amongst the animals that the book is about, or the books. I think there's a series and a few different collections. So those might be more that you want to try and find and pick out if you think that they're wholesome and want to have something for the younger kids to read. Moving on from, as I started to get older, I was introduced to the Chronicles of Narnia and to the Lord of the Rings, the best fantasy fiction books ever and that will ever be written. If you disagree, you're wrong. Other books were Watership Down, the Jim Kelgard series really opened my eyes to the joys of the outdoors, the joys of a man and his dog, the beauty of the wilderness. And for a long time, because of those books, I wanted to be a mountain man. I wanted to hunt and trap and fish for my living. They were they were great books and highly recommended. Later on, some friends introduced me to the Redwall series, which is an awesome, awesome series. I think there were like 27 books, somewhere in the 20s. He wrote about 27 of them. Again, it's about a group of animals and um, living in community and the heroes that grow out of that peaceful community to help guide and save that community during dark times. Just good, good, clean, fun, wholesome books that honestly I read far into my teens and even into my early 20s to just they were just fun to go back and read a little bit here and there. They were funny, there was enough action and just clean wholesome books. So keep an eye out for those, and I hope to do reviews on many of these books and more that I've found over the years that I think are worth reading and storing up. Another realm that really interests me, especially as I got older, was the historical side. And I really tried to educate myself through respected historians through all the different time periods. I focus more on some than others, but there's still plenty of time, and I have a list a mile long of books I haven't gotten to yet. But some of the books that I have enjoyed were the Civil War books written by Bruce Catton. I believe he's one of the, if not the most respected authors of the Civil War for portraying both sides in an equal manner and being objective in describing the politics and society of the time that led to the Civil War. And he describes in vivid detail the battles and the blunders, the victories, the defeats. It's his books are at times they read like a fiction novel, but it's all historical, and it made a big impression in me or on me and on my view of that time period. Other books from more recent history are those about heroes from the wars of today that are history tomorrow. And these are heroes like Chris Kyle, the Navy SEAL that was tragically murdered. He saved a lot of lives and was a really good guy. It sounds like. More modern day heroes are Marcus Luttrell, who wrote the autobiography The Lone Survivor. He also wrote a couple other books and has a podcast. Just a great, it really shows what these guys went through overseas. And regardless of how you or I might feel about us being overseas and fighting wars over there, it was our votes that sent these guys over there, and they did their job to the best of their ability, and they sacrificed sometimes everything for that. Another good book, Fearless, I believe, is another Navy SEAL, and he went from having a lot of problems to being a good Christian and ultimately giving his life for his fellow soldiers. Another good book that I like is 13 Hours, which is the story of Benghazi. It really delves into the truth rather than the political talking points that have been widely propagated. Lots of other good books out there. One of the best that shows a Christ-like leadership in a time of war is Joker 1. That's highly recommended, and there might be a little bit of language in there, but other than that, it's a good, clean book that I would recommend to just about everybody, young adults onward. Lots more to go into. The Battered Bastards of Bastogne in World War II, The Sinking of the Bismarck, and many, many more. So to combat the rise of this cancel culture and where it seems headed, today is March 4th as I record this, and Trump didn't come out and become the next president like some of the theories out there suggested. So we are headed for some rough times. And if any of you have ever read Fahrenheit 451, it's kind of on the same level that 1984 is as far as predicting what would happen in a controlled, tyrannical society. And the books all got burned. And the same thing's happening today. They might not actually be physically burned yet, but they're being deplatformed and authors' names are going to get smeared. I mean, they're trying to label the Bible as hate speech. So, within your means, I would recommend building your own library. If you've got young kids or you're thinking of marriage as a vocation, maybe start buying up some of those young children's books that might not be around in the future. Store them away. If you're a grandparent, maybe you buy the books and keep them at your house for when the grandkids come over. I was lucky. We found a couple of churches back way when I was young that were shutting down their schools and basically giving away their school libraries. So we we accumulated boxes and boxes and boxes of books. So I highly recommend that you start working on your own. You can put what you want in there, what you believe is wholesome and good. Another thing you can do is support your local bookstores. If they see that your support is not waning in the face of all the made up controversy, they'll keep those books coming and it'll make it easier to find them, and you'll be supporting your local economy. Another thing that you can do, and the last thing, is support new authors. I'm not sure, I don't really have a place to go to look for new authors right now, but if I find a link, I'll put it somewhere. But just keep an eye out for new aspiring authors. Something that jumps to mind is the Inheritance Saga by Christopher Paolini. He was a young Christian kid when he started writing them, and they were good, wholesome, clean books. And there are other authors out there. Another is Cadence McManaman, I believe is how she pronounces her name. She wrote a Catholic fiction novel based in Ireland, which is also very good, and I encourage you to search that out. And maybe dust off that book you've been meaning to write. Maybe you've always dreamt of being an author. Maybe there's a book idea you've had for ages. Sit down and give it a try. You never know. And we need more good, clean literature out there for all ages. It's hard to find. And instead of filling our heads with, I know it's controversial for some people, but Harry Potter is not a good series to read. And then you've got people trying to come up with new fantasy books like Game of Thrones, which is basically pornography. And I know there are others that are just not coming to mind right now. But let's stay away from those and try and create our own and support those who are already doing that creating. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. I hope some of this was helpful. God bless the USA, and I will catch you next time.